You're listening to Lyfe and Shyt. I'm Daneyel Walker.
And I'm Tommy Walker.
Join us as we talk about our journey overcoming fears, boundaries, marriage, family, lifestyle, business, and whatever other shit you can think of.
We're individuals that came together to create one unit with one mind and one goal. What's up, baby?
What's happening?
Oh, man. A whole lot.
A whole lot of?
Yeah.
A whole lot of what? A whole lot of shit.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So our producer director was just there. He's like, you ain't say shit till the wine start pouring. I said it was one of those days where we was all over the place, but only in one place. I said, I feel like I was fading today. Like I ain't no lie. I was looking at you like, baby, feed me. Please feed me.
You were literally looking like, I can't go on. I was like, what's the matter with you? Like, what's going on? You're like, no, really?
Yeah, I was like, I can't think. Like, we're sitting there in a meeting. I was like, I can't think right now. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. I'm like, it's just all weird right now.
I'm like, did you have coffee? Yes. Did you eat? Yes. Like, okay. Well, I mean, shit. When's the last day you had off? I mean, I know we had time off when we went to Florida, right? Yeah. So we had a family dinner. And that was pretty cool, but it wasn't really like a day off, right? I mean, First off, I mean, we traveled, so it took us forever just to get there, right? And then, you know, when you get there, you're with family, so you don't want to sleep, you know what I mean? So it's like we're up till 3 o'clock in the morning when we're like, oh, we're going to get rest. But in reality, we needed the rest, but we didn't get any.
1,000%. Every time we fly to the East Coast, we always stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sometimes all night.
Well, you be trying to pull all nighters.
No. You did it the last time.
Well, once, yeah. I'll be like, yo, I'm out. I'll be like, but let's talk about that. So my family is a trip. Like they're cool as hell. But we've been trying to plan like a family get together for a long time. And every time the word reunion came up, it was, I don't know, it was like things just went to shit after that. It was like reunion. All right, pick a day. Can't do it. Oh, how about this month? How about this year? I mean, for years. Yeah. So then we just said, fuck it, we're going to pull the trigger and call it a dinner. So we had a family dinner with over 30 people.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
In Florida.
Yeah.
Right? Catered the whole 9 yards. Now, nobody said it was a reunion. But it had reunion vibes.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time. Nobody said it was a reunion until the pictures came on Facebook. And it was like, Walker reunion.
Walker reunion.
Like, what? Like, when did that happen? When did that happen?
That's real shit.
And funny thing is, my family just had a family reunion. But if anyone knows anything about my family, is we're kind of all over the board. We have like a set of people who come from one set of people, or like a whole group of
like with the same last name?
Yeah. And then we have a bunch of runoff groups, you know. So that's pretty much how the reunion was. I did not get to go, but I do miss that I didn't get to see all of my cousins. But your reunion made me think about having something like that for just like a cousin reunion for us, because our cousins are really, really close and there's a shit ton of us. And I would love to have pictures of just each family, you know what I mean? And do it kind of like that and say who everyone is. And all of us grew up really close together, but we don't know each other, which is kind of the same reasoning for you guys doing your dinner.
Yeah, exactly. It started out, it was supposed to be a cousin reunion, because same reason, we all grew up together, we was all tight, and none of our kids know each other. Right. And so with me being on the West Coast, everybody's still on the East Coast, but split between New York all the way down to Alabama and Florida, it was like, all right, let's figure out how we could get the kids together so the kids could, and to your point, it was, you know, it was cool because now all the kids was able, now first of all, we've met kids that like we didn't know anybody's kids. Yes. Right. And then sure, even our granddaughter was there. Right. Yeah, yes, so it was all the way down to the youngest. But it was good to see all the families, you know, and for us to, you know, you said that you guys are, you have a lot of names in your family. It's not like just the Freemans or just the Crawleys. It's a bunch.
Yeah, like
for us, it's all the Walkers. Yeah, it's like the Walkers, and then you have a few, because there's not a lot of women. So in your family, there's a lot of women.
Yes.
That's why.
Yes.
In our family, it's mostly men, and therefore that Walker goes on.
Yes.
And even like all of my uncles except for one had sons. Actually, two of them didn't have any sons, and like birth sons, and then. So the Walker generation goes deep because then all of our cousins had sons, right? So it makes sense. But to see all the uncles, which is now the elders in the family, hey, this is my family and this is the lineage. Everybody was like, okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah. It was like you see everybody kind of broke off, and then you see everybody talking to everybody, but you don't know who comes from everybody,
And the crazy shit was how we learned. My family's so crazy. We talked about this in Dysfunctional Family episode where, you call your uncle or you call your first cousin your uncle or your older cousin, whatever the case may be. And we found out, like, we didn't know everybody's real names. like they was dropping real names and we was like, oh shit, like that's his real name.
I ain't never knew his name was. I was like,
I've been knowing him my whole life.
Yeah.
never knew his real name. And we got so many nicknames in our family.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know if that's an East Coast thing or what. Y'all don't have a lot of nicknames.
We do. Like Boo, right? Like people don't know what Boo's name is. Boo is Boo. Boo's been Boo forever.
My shit, I met Boo as Boo. Yeah,
yeah,
so
you know what I mean. Like, so there's like,
but y'all don't have a lot. Like every person don't have a nickname. Like every single last one of my uncles have a nickname. Like Chico.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who Chico was. They was like, yeah, Chico gonna show up. Who the fuck is Chico? Come find out, it's my youngest uncle.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
So nicknames is a big thing on the East Coast. And if you don't know, if you don't actually have conversations, with your family members, and the biggest point was lineage. At the end of the day, it was about learning the lineage, telling the stories. And that's kind of the point that I made when we were sitting there at the dinner. It was like, we don't want the family story to disappear, and the only way, and if you think about tribals, if you think about anything that you've heard from back in the days, it's all about the stories that you tell, right? And it's the stories that get passed on and how those stories evolve. And that dinner will be a story that people will be able to tell, and hopefully we could keep doing it year over year.
Yeah, definitely. I was just talking to our oldest on the way here, and she was like, "We haven't recapped. I didn't talk to you. We didn't recap the family reunion." And,
true that. We haven't seen the kids since we got back.
Yeah, so she's all just talking about Uncle so and so and how fun they were, and all the different things she's seen. So legit, there's tons of stories that came from that. She talked about Auntie such and such with the big old badonkadonk. I was like, "You stupid."
I can't.
But yeah, she was just like, the different stories that they'll have going forward, and especially since all the kids were there and they all got to experience and then they got to talk to people. But I love when the uncles start to tell stories. It's like after they get to drinking and stuff, I'd be like, come on, let's talk about some stuff. Like, how is this? You just got to ask the right questions, and then all of a sudden the floodgate is open. I just love talking to them.
Dudes, you don't even have to ask questions. They come right out the back. As soon as we got there, they start talking. Like he's like, I didn't think you was gonna make it. It's like, what are you talking about, bro?
I thought he meant not make it to the dinner. He thought you wasn't gonna make it in life.
Yeah. Talking about my head was too big. This dude literally said, he's like, you used to cry a lot and your head was too big. So your mother put you in that swing and then you be quiet. And I just didn't think you was gonna make it.
I used to swing all the time.
And then he started doing poses and shit like that. He was like, be in a swing like this. Be in a swing like this. Now, granted, these motherfuckers is all like, they all like 60 years old. I mean, crazy energy, crazy jokes, like, and nobody's safe with those dudes. Nobody is safe.
Anybody can get it. That's the same. That's why you are the way you are, which is pretty cool. I love getting together with family. I love seeing family we haven't seen in a long time. It was a great time. You did a great job. The food was amazing.
Food was off the chain.
The people, everyone there, it was just amazing. Everyone who was supposed to be there was there. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was
a great job.
That's true. And for me, I think it was really impactful because for years, you know, and we talked about this at like Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners, because we was always with your family here on the West Coast. And I always make mention like, man, it's been 20 plus years I've been living in California and I've never had a dinner with my family over the last 20 years.
Right.
And legit, this was the biggest dinner I've had with my family since I was a kid. Yeah. Like legit since I was a kid. We always met at my grandmother's house and had dinners, you know, and I mean, just living on the East Coast period. And, you know, I'm sure, you know, some groups get together and small, but a dinner that size, like even at our house, we host dinner parties, 10, 15 people of your family, right? And then even just bouncing up to Santa Barbara or back in the days when we used to go to Long Beach a lot, those were like dope, right? And it was like, and I kind of longed for it. And this opportunity to put it together, that's why I was so serious. It was like, all right, no more excuses. Let's just make it happen. And to your point, the right people, you know, like it don't matter about the right people, the wrong people. You showed up, and if you showed up, you had a great time, and hopefully, you know, the word gets out, and we just fucking rock and roll again, all over again, and it becomes more. It reoccurs.
Yeah, it's true. A crazy thing is on our way back, we got caught in this huge storm that was like right in the middle of Atlanta. And when we got to the airport, we already had seen a relative that was like, my flight was canceled. And I was like, your flight was canceled? What? I'm like, oh, we getting on this plane, y'all. I don't know. But we waited around, and boop, plane was canceled.
You know, the trip is we just did a podcast on airport experiences.
We did.
and had we, like, this is like part 2 airport experiences, but 1,000% probably one of the worst airport experiences we've had. And you're right. I mean, it was a lightning storm in Atlanta, right? So it had nothing to do with Florida. So we finally get to Atlanta after being delayed. And again, so we have 4 children, for those that don't know, and a granddaughter. And our children, and we say children, but they're all adults, right? Yeah, our youngest is 17. So they're all grown up. And, you know, we're flying as a family. And Danielle and I, whenever we fly, we never get delayed like this. Like, I mean, back when we were standby, we get delayed.
Yeah, I was going to say, so back in the days, y'all, we used to fly standby. I think we said this too, all the time,
right? All the time.
And I mean, even with the kids, right? So we all be out there trying to be the last ones
running
on the plane,
gate to
right?
gate.
Like, can we get on?
You going my way?
Yeah.
With a thumb out and everything.
You got any space on that plane?
I got a room for 2. But
all right, you two go
6
here.
of us.
Y'all two go there.
It's like, all right, legit. That's how we were. Now we pay for flights. Like we pay for the whole thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, me and you on first class, kids in the back. You know, we're like, yo, we good. We got nothing to worry about. Man, Atlanta was a fucking, I don't know. It was a shit show in Atlanta.
It was horrible. First off, when we landed at what, 10
o'clock at night.
And I booked us a hotel room. We were supposed
to be there at 7.
Yep. And I booked us some hotel rooms because our flight had already left, or it wasn't, you know, it's canceled.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, let's book these flights. Let's book this room so we have somewhere to stay, because I did not want to stay in that damn airport. We didn't fly out again until like 7 o'clock or something. No, I didn't fly out until 11 o'clock the next day.
Yeah, you flew out at 11. I was flying out at 10.
Yeah.
The girls was flying out at 9. Our son was flying out at 2 that morning.
Yeah. It was crazy.
It
was crazy. So we're thinking like, oh, he's going to have to chill at the airport till 2. He has plenty of time. Nah, man. We was sitting on that airplane right there until what, 1:59,
on the tarmac for 3 hours.
Yeah, just on the plane. Like, are you kidding me right now? Good thing is though that they did serve drinks. They did serve a little bit of food.
They served 1 drink and some nuts in first class. Not 1 sandwich. You know, and the dude was so serious about his job. Like I get safety. Like I get it. Like I'm 1,000% down with the rules and safety. But bro, stop. Like I'm from New York City, where we move on moving objects all the time.
He's silly.
The bus, the train, the shit's moving. There's people everywhere. This dude, it's an open runway. Sit down, or we're gonna miss our gate. Like he was saying some crazy shit I've never heard anybody ever say.
Ever, as many years as we've been flying.
He made you sit down. You couldn't even pee.
I was like, I really have to go. Well, if you have to go, I'm gonna have to call the captain. He says, and tell the captain that we're gonna have to stop and delay.
Just
I was
so
like,
you could go to the bathroom.
What? Yeah. I'm like, we're not even there yet. Like I promise, I'm gonna use. I said, never mind. I'll hold it. Like,
yo, he was RoboCop for real. For real, for real. I ain't never seen a flight attendant that much RoboCop like. And I mean, he been and he was on the mic like a lot. I was like, bro, we get it. We get it.
It was crazy. Flip side, we been working our asses off at the cafe.
Yes, 7 days a week.
Yeah, and that's been interesting.
It's been rocking.
It is.
It's been rocking.
It is. It feels really good to be like in the mix of it. You know what I mean? Meeting everyone in the community, actually getting to know them and build relationships with them. I've loved that part. Just all the different characters and just having different stories. You know, I'm nosy anyways. Has one of our characters told me, some people are nosy to just be nosy, be in people's business, and some people are nosy to know stuff.
Which one are you?
I'm nosy to know stuff. I like to know stuff.
I like how you got yourself together. Say, I'm nosy to know stuff. I don't need to be in nobody's business.
That's right. He said some people so nosy they nose hit the ground.
That dude, he always got some.
You already knew.
Yeah, I already know who you talking about. Yeah, because every time he come in, he says, next week, I'm going to make enough money to pay y'all half the rent because I've been here for so long. I was like, bro, don't worry about it. We just love you being here. Just keep showing up.
Yeah.
But real shit, though, is being back in the communities, back in the streets. You know, honestly, it's where I started, right? My entrepreneur journey literally started in the streets. So, and we're back in the streets. And when I say that, I don't mean in the streets like how I used to be in the streets as a teenager, but in the streets by doing the community work. You know, as an entrepreneur, the work is really done when you're out there in your community. And I love that. Yeah,
meeting people, shaking hands, remembering names, and actually remembering people, situations, scenarios. I love it.
1,000%.
And it's just been amazing.
Yeah, it's been the experience that I've been longing for a minute. You know, this entrepreneur journey is every day you're like, man, what is tomorrow going to bring? You know, you have your highs, you have your lows. Some days I'm on a hilltop, like, yeah, I fucking did it. And then I'm down in the trench and I'm like, fuck, did I make the right decision? And, you know, you never know what you're going to get. But you know what? When you see people smile and when people come up and say, man, I'm really grateful that you guys created the space and just the wow, like when people come in, just the emotions that they feel when they come in. That right there, that's to me is worth anything that we've ever done.
Makes it all worth it.
1,000%.
My feet feeling busted.
Them toenails.
Oh my gosh. But it's nothing like seeing someone finish a chicken sandwich or eat like that now chicken wings and be like, oh my God, those are amazing. You know, like, where's your deep fryer? Where's your this? Like, no, I did it this way or that. Like, what? You know, it was so good. It's so amazing. It's an amazing feeling to me. Just to see people eat and be happy and to just like love it and see people like the return people come again and again, like, yeah, I'm getting that because that's my favorite. Like, I was yearning or I was craving this all day. You know what I mean? Like, you're craving something that I created. That's freaking awesome. You know,
it's a different level of fulfillment. It's like a level of fulfillment, and you got such a nurturing, like, you love feeding people. So because you haven't done it in so long now, I mean, Daneyel don't let nobody in the kitchen. I'd be like, yo, babe, you need help? Like, she'd be ready to chop my hand off. I'd be like, yo, my bad. So I'm just trying to help you out. She would get out my kitchen. But when she razzle and dazzle, you know what I mean? And then she see the smile, it's like, oh, that's how it was when you had all the kids at the house and I would come home for work. It was like that's your vibe. That's what you get into that nurturing thing and you do it very well.
Thank you. And that's 1,000%. I started feeling, I think I really appreciate that. You know, I honestly started to find my love in it. You know, at first I was like, oh, is this going to be work? And my fingers were hurting. I'm not gonna lie, my fingers were hurting, my back was hurting, my feet was hurting, like my whole body was hurting. I was feeling like I got beat the hell up every single day for like the first month. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. You know, like I'm getting older. I'm not old. I'm getting older, right? And I'm at this point where I'm not acting my age. I think when I act my age is when I'll start to feel my age. So like, fuck that. I'm not acting my age. I'm act how I feel, and that's good, right? If that's not my age, then I don't care. Like, no one says you have to act a certain way. Anyways, that's a different podcast. I started to enjoy and then really look forward to like Saturdays and Sundays when it's really busy, putting on the music, and I kind of just get in a groove, and I just love to have like order after order after order. I just want to keep cooking, and just get into this little flow, and I'll just be back there in my own world, and I just want to see those orders keep coming and just boop, 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 boop. I was like, this is pretty cool. Yeah. It feels like a Sunday or a Saturday morning, It just feels good.
Just in the zone.
Yeah. I really like it.
That's real shit. And then right now, as random as today is, right? We got people in the house.
Oh yeah.
Right. We haven't. I haven't been to the house all day. We have 3 people in the house, but we got some cool things, that we're working on, and that just so happened we had to have 3 people staying in the house for the next 4 days. Yep. So that's gonna be cool, and can't wait to talk about that. Can't really talk about it now, but it's been a beautiful day. Like we always talking about how we get to do things, right? We never, sometimes it's natural to complain sometimes. I got to do this, or I have to do this. True. And sometimes you need that reminder that I get to do it. Like I signed up for it. I chose, this was the direction that I chose. So therefore I just have to remember that day when I made that decision. Yes. And ever since that day, I get to do whatever comes. And that's the journey. That's the journey of life. That's how I look at almost everything in life nowadays. It was like that day when I said, I'm no longer working for another person. I'm going to work for myself only. After that, it was like every day I signed up for this, and I enjoy that journey, which recently, changed even more. You know what I mean? And I'm not ready to discuss it yet on the podcast, but we'll talk about that, how, our entrepreneur journey change all the time. Went through another major, and maybe we'll talk about it.
Life is about changes, right? It's changing all the time. If you would have asked me just in the beginning of this year, of all the changes that we've gone through, if I would have expected it or thought that it would even have happened, then no, I would have told you legit from something that happened in the first month of this year. Legit. From then, it was kind of like a sign, to be honest, if we had our eyes wide open, and that's without any clouds on our mirrors, right? I think we would have seen it a lot sooner, if that makes sense to you. I'm not sure, and I can explain it later to everybody else, but there's things that cloud your vision, right? Where you can't see things as clear, and that's like alcohol or whatever, negative thoughts, negative people. But if we were clear, we would have seen it. The signs were there. But with that, it's been amazing, and we've embraced the changes that have come, and we've grown with them. Not only have the changes been in our business, but our personal, our relationship, our love, everything.
1,000%. Couldn't agree with you more. What's your final thought?
That's my final thought.
That is your final thought? I love it.
You always call me out for my final thought.
No, I don't want to cut you off.
Something really good.
No, because I don't want to cut you off.
What's your final thought? What was it? That was damn good.
I want you to be like, I didn't get my final thought in.
I love you.
That's life is shit. Do us a favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Leave a review. Let us know what your thoughts are. That's the only way that this show is going to be successful. And we appreciate you. Talk with you next time.